Good afternoon, my peoples, and welcome back to the counterattack on this glorious Monday afternoon. I hope you and yours are doing very well. This is the Roundup, and we're going to be going through some of the most delicious matches from Matchday 3. First up, we have Newcastle and Southampton, a clash up north. Next, we have West Ham and Crystal Palace, little London derby. And last up, probably the match of the weekend, we have Liverpool and Chelsea at Anfield. And it got very, very spicy. First up, we have Newcastle and Southampton. Now, these are two teams that I expect to finish in the bottom half of the Premier League. Like I said in the last video, I think Newcastle will have just enough to stay up. I think them buying Willock, keeping St. Maximin, and having Wilson healthy is a big, big deal for them. And if it stays like that throughout the year, I think they'll stay up. Have Southampton, who really are the Jekyll and Hyde team of the Premier League. Some days they're playing absolutely liquid football, and some other days they ship 9 or 8. Newcastle took the lead 2 times, first through Callum Wilson, and then in the 91st minute through a bit of a scrappy goal with Alam St. Maximin. And really at that point, you thought they had it. All they had to do was do a little Steve Bruce speciality, shut the game down, and it's a victory for the Toon. Fortunately, ball goes over the top, player gets through. I think it was Armstrong for Southampton, and inexplicably, the defender comes through right behind him, catches him on his ankle, penalty kick, and James Ward-Prowse, who I really feel is an underrated player, he slots it away, easy, 2-2. That's really 2 points dropped from Newcastle. I think these type of games, they really have to take advantage of. They have to beat the teams that we all know are going to be around them. That was a chance right there. They bottled it. Really unfortunate for them. For Southampton, great away point. Next up, we have West Ham and Crystal Palace. Little London derby. East versus South London? South London, I believe. Game finished up 2-2. This game, same as the other one. West Ham took the lead twice. And it was really a Michail Antonio masterclass. He got an assist on the first goal to Fornals, and then took advantage of a mistake at the back for Crystal Palace and absolutely blasted it by their keeper. Great for him. I think he's really showing himself to be a great Premier League striker. West Ham look good. I believe after 3 games they have 7 points, and they're looking up. I think for them this year, they have to really be thinking about trying to get into Europe. Europa League, I think, has to be their goal this year, especially as they've strengthened in certain areas that have really made them a contender for Europe. Crystal Palace, I don't really know where they're going to be at. You know, they had years and years and years of Roy Hodgson, and he steadied the ship, kept them in the Premier League, bottom half of the table type of team, but still not really battling it out that many times on the last day. I think they have to be looking at either staying, they definitely have to be looking at staying in the Premier League. Relegation would be a disaster for them, especially after so many years of stability. But now they have a new coach in Patrick Vieira, who really hasn't had that much success in his past jobs. And they, I think, through their signings, what they're looking at playing sort of a different brand of football. Now, when you have a stable team and decide to rock the boat, don't know. It could work out spectacularly, and they could improve on their league form. But what I really do think is going to happen is they're going to sink down the league, and they might be just outside of the relegation zone or in a relegation fight. I think that's what awaits Crystal Palace this year, especially as they don't have Eze, and they probably won't have him for most of the year. So, fingers crossed on Zaha staying fit and Ayew and Benteke firing on all cylinders. Must needs for them. Now we have the game of the weekend. Liverpool and Chelsea, top of the table clash at Anfield. Oh boy, I was really looking forward to this game. And frankly, until the red card, it didn't disappoint. I felt that Chelsea were the better team starting out the game, and they took the lead through Kai Havertz. Who knows if that header was just a glancing header and, hope and pray. But it went in, it looked great. I thought Chelsea were playing really well. And then the red card happened. Now, Reece James, I'm going to say right now, he deserved to be sent off. Absolutely 100%. When you look at the replay, and honestly, the only way you could really tell was through the replay. If you look at the replay, the ball goes off his thigh, rebounds onto his hand, and then he sort of panics because he's a little bit off balance. There's chaos in the box, and he sort of scoops the ball very, very quickly and very subtly off the line. Had to be a penalty kick, and unfortunately, had to be a red card. I'm not really sure where all of you stand on this, but I think that, I don't know, this whole double jeopardy thing, I think it had to be a penalty kick. It went off his hand, and the scoop, just did not look good for him. I think it had to be a sending off. I think when you deny what the ball is going in the net, and while it going off his thigh isn't the bad part, it's the scoop of the hand to get the ball away from the line. I hate to say it, but it's in the same vein as what Luis Suarez did to Ghana in the 2010 World Cup. That was a little bit more overt, not only in what he was trying to do in his hand movement than this, but same sentiment. He scoops the ball away from the line, penalty kick, red card. Is what it is. I think the controversy with the red card in the Liverpool and Chelsea game sort of hid the fact that this is very much 2 points drop for Liverpool. They had more than enough time with 10 men to grab the winner, but really it just speaks to Thomas Tuchel and Chelsea's organization defensively after they went down to 10 men. At 11 men, they are an extremely difficult team to beat defensively and score against. But with 10 men, Liverpool really struggled to find space in behind Christensen, Rudiger, and Azpilicueta. They found it really difficult to get in behind them and find some type of space to exploit. And that's the kind of game that Sané, Firmino, Salah, and Jota really thrive off of. So really, hats off to Chelsea and their defense. They really kept that team up there with the best offensive teams probably in Europe and in the world. Kept them at bay for most of the second half. Hats off to them. 2 points dropped for Liverpool. So after match day 3, where do we stand? Top of the league, and I really hate to say it, Spurs top of the league, 3 out of 3. I think, just like last year when they were top of the league, I think in December, they'll fall. This is a false position for Spurs. They don't belong at the top of the league. They won't finish there. I really don't even think they're going to finish in the top 4. Going on further down the league, we have the usual suspects in 3, 4, and 5, Manchester United, Chelsea, and Liverpool. I expect those teams to be there at the end of the year, so I think really not much is going to change there. Brighton have done well to win 2 out of their first 3 games. 6 points, great return for them. Brentford have 5 points after 3 matches and haven't lost. A win and 2 draws. Great start for them. They're really, the more points they can accumulate earlier on, the less they'll be struggling in the winter and early spring. Now down in the relegation zone. Wolves, Norwich City, and Arsenal. Norwich City and Arsenal deserve to be there. They haven't played all that well. They've shipped a ton of goals. Norwich has shipped 10. Arsenal have shipped 9 and haven't scored. Less said about them, the better. But in 18th, you have Wolves. Wolves' position right now after 3 games is a great example of playing pretty well, staying in the game, probably should have more goals than you do, but ultimately getting nothing out of it. And I think that really speaks to their ineptitude in front of the goal. Trincao, Adama Traore, and even Jimenez, while they look good in transition, they just cannot finish. And the manager really has to sort that out, and very quickly, because before you know it, you can get sucked into the relegation zone, into the relegation fight, and then you're struggling and you're in trouble. Thank you guys for sticking with me for the roundup for match day 3. Slap that like button and please subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Take care, guys.